So, good afternoon to you all. Thank you for the invitation to be here. It's very good to be presentially and start meeting people face to face, eye to eye again. And of course, we are in the WestMED and we are very relational. So this is how we make things happen. So going very quickly. So what is Forum Oceano? So we are Portugal's Blue Economy Cluster. We exist for 12 years. We have 132 associates, and we represent 50% of what could be called the Blue GDP in Portugal. So we are working to have the other 50% and even to increase what could be the Blue GDP. That's our goal. And we consider Blue Economy, as you can see here in this, as EU's mega sector. Why? Because you can have sustainable food, energy, tourism, leisure, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals from an asset where EU is and its neighborhood is very rich. It can be very productive, but we have to do it sustainably. Also, to say that I'll take the opportunity to pitch that next week we will have the Business to See. It's a joint event that we organize with SETMAR, the cluster from Galicia, and probably, why not next year, to have a Business to See with the clusters from Italy. And we'll start also to diversify this with Federazione del Mare and Blue Italy growth. So we'll have very good panels about entrepreneurship, also with the EIB, with also from Sinai, DG Mare, and also the ambassador, Peter Thompson, the UN Special Envoy for the Ocean. So I will share the experience that we had with the Portugal Blue Fund when I was Director General for Maritime Policy, and very quickly to share the experience, in practice, what we did. So, Blue Economy, as we see, is very diverse. And as it was shown by the Sinai presentation, you have lots of sources where you can fund your projects, or you can fund your business. But, so that diversification is also a source of weakness, because blue is also in competition with the other colors, in a way of saying. So there is a need to have some dedicated instrument that, even if it is, how we say, not a lot of money, but it gives the seed money, that ignition money for certain projects, not to be in competition with other more mature industries and get things going. So in the last mandate of the Portuguese government, the Minister of the Sea decided to create the Blue Fund. So the Blue Fund has 13 million euros per year. It has a part that is allocated to loans and another part that is allocated to grants. The fund is from the Portuguese state and, of course, follows the rules of de minimis and so on. But what we did find out, when we implemented the fund, we saw one thing. The seed money in Blue Economy needs scale. When you, for example, you're going with the technology, seed money for ocean renewable energy, or for green shipping, or another technology like this, you cannot have the same amounts as for digital and so on. So what we came about? Why don't we do a joint, so a blended fund with the European Investment Fund? Portugal didn't have any, fund of this nature. It will be the first. And why not get the resources that we have from the Blue Fund, some of them, and do a joint initiative with the IF. So we joined forces with our development bank, so IFD, so the GPM with IFD, and we started, talking. Now it is the BPF, so the Banco Português de Fomento, And then we started talking with the EIF. And what's the deal that we have? So we took 25 million euros from our fund, 5 million euros per year during five years in a row, and then to be matched with 25 million euros from the Blue Invest Fund. And then we got, a 50 million euros fund. So by joining our national resources with EIF resources. So now it was launched a tender to select 2 operators, Portuguese-based, for operating this fund. These are the operators that from the private sector that will do the second phase that is in there, is to go to the private sector and raise money. And here with 25 million, we get 75 million working in Portugal for ramping up the blue economy. You could say, well, 75 million is not really a lot of money for going forward some projects. But this has several virtues. First, you start to build and educate the financial ecosystem what is financing blue businesses, what is the risk profile, because many of these blue businesses in the biology or in the don't have a track record, so finance is, even with the ESG wave and so on, is quite conservative, so it stands out of the risk. So this money is very important for the first losses and also for diluting the risk from the private sector. Secondly, it also, when the startup is, that is not very known, is invested by an EIF logo and by a development and by a member country development bank, that gives them a seal of quality and helps a lot to go into the private market and to compete to get more funding and to get its technology going.
1 minute.
Yes. Very quickly, and I know that there is some force of will in Italy to create a blue fund, take into account the EU taxonomy. It's very important. So it's very important that this fund draws the competencies that you already have, which are great in technology, but go a step ahead in aligning and delivering the impact that is demanded by the EU taxonomy. Also, and the last remark, there was a video there, but it disappeared. Next slide. No.
Furthermore, European
we had
Maritime,
just
Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund co-funds the so-called ASPAN project that has just kick-started in May. This project aims to establish an innovative network of Atlantic port accelerators involving startups, small and medium companies, so that ports can be transformed into true blue hubs.
So what I wanted to say is this: deal flow. If you make a fund without having an ecosystem that delivers high-quality projects to be invested, that will be a fund that will be a hole, so, in a way of saying, and you will not execute the money properly. So what I'm going to say, this is the Atlantic Smart Ports Acceleration Network. Most of you have already heard about it. It was for us an honor to have this mentioned by the European Commissioner Elisa Ferreira at the European Parliament. What I wanted to say is that at the WestMED Cluster Alliance, we are moving very strongly to create the MED Blue Accelerator Network, the MEDBAN, between the clusters of Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, plus Greece. So it's a mega MED in a way of saying, and Tunisia. And in order to also create this dynamics and to create an innovation ecosystem that connects investors, ports, innovators, researchers, in order to have the right projects of high quality that can deliver a true sustainable blue economy, that can digitalize, decarbonize, and circularize and deliver this value to the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Leonardo, I will leave you the wrap up of all these very rich conversations.
I want just to underline that the Portuguese experience of a country which has made of the blue economy its development driver and identifying the maritime cluster as its implementing actor is giving to our Maritime Cluster Alliance a speed that we would have not had otherwise. And this is also the reason why we asked to the Italian National Bank, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, if we could open for them this window of, let's say, which is also the result of the technical assistance we've been providing in these years, because in a country like Italy, we still have no blue fund, and also at the same time, still accelerators for the blue economy are still to come. Some are interested, but are not a reality yet. And for sure, the Italian National Development Bank is the first actor to at least involve in this process or in these dynamics. That's why I would like to thank for the availability Enrico Petrocelli, who is the head of international relations at Cassa Depositi e Prestiti in Rome. Thanks.